All right. Peace, peace. Blessings, everybody. Haki Ami here, the success scholar, the honorable one, the Safo. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing beautiful. Wanted to do this piece here. I mean, I get really irritated when I have, persons that haven't done any knowledge and they have no knowledge of self and they just really repeating things that they hear and generally have a lack of historical context behind what it is that they're actually saying. What am I talking about? Many people know about the FBA, Foundational Black Americans, and ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves. So there was a episode or instance where there was a discussion surrounding the Malcolm X was not the Malcolm X, the meeting. I'm sorry, what was it? The one night in Miami, right? So, and some people's comments on that. Now, and I believe the subject came up something about Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan or something, but also there was I think I commented, and I mean it was a very general comment, but one of the, I don't know what he called himself, considered himself, I can't even remember. I sort of just kind of lumped them all together since I've seen, and I think he was claiming he was representing FBA or something. And I'm really sort of sick and tired of these people really demonstrating what can be considered coon behavior, right? Now, why do I say that some of them could can be demonstrating coon behavior? And I want you all, you all that got any historical context to properly understand, my anguish with dealing with somebody that would really be this small, right? Let me build this up here. So, on several occasions, members of the FBA or ADOS, without knowing me, without knowing anything that I stand for, how, I have some unique understandings and or appreciation for some of the understandings that they may say and stand for, but for whatever reason, they see my name, for instance, and they just go off on this immigrant tangent, right? Now, I have to think about that because they don't know me, right? I mean, in general, but it's just like you just see a name, right? And you will degrade someone's name. And I have to look at it from a historical perspective, and many people, for instance, may not know that I changed my name. So many people don't know, for instance, where it originates or et cetera, et cetera. So Haki was a Swahili word, my understanding. I thought it meant justice, but I was told when I went to Tanzania it meant something else, so I don't know. I don't know if the language changed from one period or another or what, but Shakur, that's a mixture of Swahili and some Arabic and some, my understanding, but I got it from Tupac, right? So Shaki Shakur Ami got that from the Hebrews, the African original Hebrew Israelites. So, and I got Haki from Haki Metabuti up in Chicago. So many people may not know the historical context of, the role of Haki Metabuti. and the re-Africanization movement, the Pan-African movement. But but what once upon a time it was considered honorable for individuals to change their name. So I wasn't necessarily connected to any particular group or organization, but you know I just understood history, studying the work of Malcolm X and Frederick Douglass. I enlightened myself about, our history and our consciousness. And, I understood, the power to define, just like we talk about Kwanzaa, how we name ourselves. And I'm actually, this is actually a first chapter of my book that I'm dealing with right now. So with that being said, some FBA, and this is, this is kind of to build up some momentum for this coonish aspect of it, because I have to think about it like, okay, like Malcolm and Muhammad Ali, and many of these people, they represented their name, as a strong militant, conscious, name, right? They as a anti racism, white supremacy stand, right? So now you have individuals who are degrading individuals who may not have a European sounding name, right? Let's think about that. Let's think about that. So are you truly trying to build a movement where we are saying your name need to be Johnson, or your name need to be Antoine Lerone Jackson, right? Or and I'm not like totally here or there, but I just understood at my particular time that naming ourselves was a act of mental and spiritual and psychological liberation, right? So that was my path, my understanding and my wisdom in terms of building my consciousness, my freedom, right? So, so I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Why do these people get off on venting, so vehemently at at you know people who they don't know their backgrounds, right? And just assuming that somebody is an immigrant, and it wasn't like that serious, but it's just like some people feel the need to just go hard. And I just used the example of the Roots. Many people saw Roots. It's like, would you Negroes, FBA, ADOS people, would you be out here like on a plantation telling Toby to say, yeah, you Toby, say you Toby, I mean, like, and he's saying I'm Kunta, and you saying no, say you Toby, we are Tobys. I mean, can you think about the mindset of that? The white man was trying to beat into your mind what name that they wanted to call you, and now you running around talking about I'm Toby, and you Kunta, you need to say you Toby. I mean, so here's the thing. I mean, like, you gotta, these Negroes, and most of them, seriously, they are part of the real Negro Senate movement. They're real soft, and this is why many of them couldn't really understand or get with, for instance, the Panthers, the New Black Panthers, or the NFAC, right? Because they really are soft, right? I mean, and they're not. They don't have any true revolutionary depth. This is a very shallow and very surfacey movement, All right, these people. I mean, and let me just put some respect because there are some unique aspects of the black experience here that we have to take into context and consideration, right? But honestly, I'm just appalled that these people are so uh, coonish about defining a name, right? When we don't actually know, many of us don't necessarily know our history and our culture, and so this is why Malcolm X took an X, right? This is what they did in the nation. They said the X meant the unknown, and so I just want to put that out there because I'm tired of this movement, and I don't want to necessarily distinguish because which aspect of these people propagated this, but it needs to end. It needs to end, or those of us. I mean, and eventually, what I see right now, because for the most part, it's pushed as a media theoretical, like a political movement, but no elected officials actually is paying attention to these people. They're not necessarily lobbying for anything. They're not building any partners and collaborators. Certainly not in Maryland. So I'm just like, what is this about? And and it just seems like it's just about creating some hostilities with other groups of people. And the reality is that many of us, we're going to need various allies in different spaces, right? And we live in a global world, a global planet, and sometimes you may have to take, you're going to have to work with different people, and different people are in power, right? And I don't see, and I haven't seen over the past 4 elections or 3 election cycles, I haven't seen any ADOS candidates. I haven't seen any FBA candidates that they don't contribute any money. They don't support even any you know small organizations. You know, they're not working with any caucuses within any parties. They're not trying to start any black parties. They're not trying to support any green parties. They're not even going with the Republican Party. So I'm like, what in the hell are you doing besides just giving a bunch of lip service and creating beefs online, right? So I had to do this because I mean, and this guy kept on going on, and I'm just like, man, these little, these YouTube people who are really lack depth, for sure. They lack depth of knowledge. They lack depth of experience. These people have to be young because I can't see any true elders like pushing this. And I'm just thinking, I'm not gonna say that these people are trolls, but I'm like, it's the youthfulness and these people not reading. They don't study, and not just they may study, and of course they may gravitate towards these people, and of course a lot of things make sense, certain analysis makes sense, but you cannot you cannot walk around and tell people your name, you're immigrant, and I don't like your name. That's coonish. That's sick. That's like you're like a house Negro. That's a house Negro mentality. I mean, if you think about it from Malcolm X perspective, or just like, I mean, give some people some respect for changing their names. And that's all I'm saying. Don't be these degenerates out here, because right now, ultimately, in the tangible aspect of liberation, it's very worthless because you're not building any assets and ownership, for our people, and you're not, passing any legislations. You're not lobbying for any legislations. You're not advocating for any legislations, and there may be a few. But ultimately, from a congressional level, nothing has been done. Nothing has been done. So that's all I have, brothers and sisters. I'll, just want to drop that. So till next time, we out. Peace.